I'm here in Ma Wan village. It's a village located on an island just under the Tsing Ma bridge in Hong Kong. You've probably noticed in these first few shots that it's completely abandoned. Houses are empty and crumbling, no one to be seen, almost like a Hong Kong version of Chernobyl. So what exactly happened here? How did it become like this?
Ma Wan, with a history of 250 years, was once a thriving fishing village. The village made its money from fish farming, and the island was famous for its seafood restaurants, which many Hong Kongers would flock to. Yet, by the early 2000s, the population began to dwindle to around 800. And by 2011, nearly all the people living here were all but gone.
One would assume that this lady used to live here and that she is no longer alive, and that most of the stuff in here is actually her possessions. You can see in this house that the dining table, along with the bunk bed, is still here. The calendar on the wall says December 1998. You can only assume that perhaps they left on that date, or perhaps it was never changed on that date. Hong Kong has many abandoned villages and islands. Many of the people that once lived in them have now moved to the city or abroad to chase greater economic prospects. This partly explains Ma Wan village's decline as a village, but its ultimate death as a community was a bit different to all the others. You see, on the same island, Sun Hung Kai, that's one of Hong Kong's largest real estate companies, have been building a new development, the Park Island Estate.
香港地少人多，如果想要交通方便、買嘢食嘢多啲選擇同埋就腳嘅話，住屋環境難免會比較擠迫。如果係比較嚮往大自然環境同埋人煙稀少一啲嘅話，位於馬灣被打造成無煙小島嘅珀麗灣，絕對係一個唔錯嘅選擇。
And they also built this bizarre thing, the Ma Wan Park. Essentially a nature park with a huge Noah's Ark replica built right by the Ma Wan village. The owners of Sun Hung Kai are devout Christians, and this was intended to be a competitor theme park to Disneyland Hong Kong.
They worked in conjunction with the Hong Kong government to offer new homes at this development to people whose families have been living on this island for over 99 years. But in 2011, the owners of Sun Hung Kai, Thomas and Raymond Kwok, were arrested by the Independent Commission Against Corruption on bribery charges.
Well, 5 defendants are on trial in what is shaping up to become Hong Kong's biggest corruption case in the city's history. At the center of all this are Thomas and Raymond Kwok, 2 billionaire brothers who control Sun Hung Kai Properties, Asia's biggest real estate company. The others include Hong Kong's former Chief Secretary Raphael Hui, businessman Francis Kwan, and Sun Hung Kai Executive Director Thomas Chan. They're facing 8 charges, including conspiracy, misconduct in public office, and allegedly taking more than $3.6 million in bribes.
It was revealed during the trial that in a 1995 memo from Thomas Kwok, that the new development at Ma Wan was simply an excuse for Sun Hung Kai to expel indigenous villagers from the island.
Some of the villagers who were relocated were not happy with their new homes and the compensation deal they received from the Hong Kong government and Sun Hung Kai.
So, to voice their discontent at being evicted from Ma Wan, some of the villagers came back and wrote on the walls of these old village houses as a form of protest. As you walk around the village and explore some of the abandoned houses and shops, you can still see some remnants of a past life. Just looking into people's houses, there is a real sense that they left very quickly. I mean, everything is still in there. You see here there's cups, there's plates, there's bowls. It's like they were evicted and told to leave straight away, without time to gather up their possessions. I'm just peeking into this house, and the sofa's still there, covered in dust. There's a tea set still there. It looks quite clean, so I'm assuming someone maybe put it in there recently. And this is likely to have been the main village square, where a lot of activity took place. There's a real spookiness about going into a house that's completely abandoned and falling apart. These are some of the old shrimp making baskets that were left behind by the villagers. Thanks to these graffiti artists, the creepiness level rating has just gone up a notch at this place. So one of the most fascinating things I've learned from going to all these abandoned villages and abandoned islands in Hong Kong is that there is always a temple that is still maintained by villagers that have left the place. And this place is very much still alive. Yet, the craziest thing about this village is that the new developments built by Sun Hung Kai are right next door. Let's send the drone up to have a look.
Yet despite being empty, nothing has been done with Ma Wan village. Disputes between the Sun Hung Kai and the Hong Kong government on the use of the land the village sits on have stalled any further development. There have been calls to use the village as temporary housing for Hong Kong's poor. Another idea put forward was to preserve the old town and turn it into an artistic quarter with a campsite, guest houses and shops.
In a city where people are often crammed into tight spaces and the past is often not preserved, I do hope the Hong Kong government makes a wise decision on the future of Ma Wan.